The story goes like this. The soul god of Fern Helion and the lunar god of Lacus Mare rallied together to tame the 6 wild gods, each taking 3 under their wing and turning our world of chaos into one of peace. That's probably the story you've heard, right? It's a web of lies they spun for mortals. They wanted to control the world in its entirety, just the 2 of them. They didn't have the power to destroy the other gods, though, or to steal their powers, so they sealed them away. The 4th of the sealed gods was Frond Peter, the harvest god of Xiqils. After Philip's struggle, the remaining 3 gods realized their fates. Instead of fighting, Frond tried bargaining desperately. Frond was no fighter, but was considered the kindest of the gods. Unfortunately, his plea fell on deaf ears. He got sealed in a glass box beneath a lush and peaceful meadow that lay in a sleepy farming town. He's been there for so long that a tree's roots have grown over the box. He got sealed in a glass box beneath a lush and peaceful meadow that lay in a sleepy farming town. He's been there so long that a tree's roots have grown over the box. Even if he were on Earth, the box's lock is no ordinary lock. The soul god's own Thama coats it, ensuring no mortal could open the lock or break the glass. Because of his influence, the land is extremely fertile and plants and animals both thrive there. In fact, all creatures thrive so well that pests are increasingly becoming a problem, and the vegetation grows back at rates that make it nearly impossible to successfully till and farm the land right above his cage. It's created a radius of land that frustrates the farmers and is plagued with both pests and weeds that are virtually unkillable. I suggest you don't try digging on strange meadows, unless you're prepared to become fertilizer yourself. Okay, on to the actual art commentary. This drawing did not want to be done. For this series, since these are speed paints, I really didn't want to spend over like 2.5 hours on them each. This one went way over that time because of the grass of all things. I prefer doing character art to backgrounds, and I'm kind of rusty with them, so I kept going back and forth on what I wanted and rendering and re-rendering the grass over and over. I considered even cutting some of it out because I feel like it was really excessive, but I decided to leave it in. I think it's good to remember that every artist had pieces they struggle with, even if they're pretty basic, like anyone can get rusty, and it was kind of like a nice reminder to myself that I probably need to go and do some studies and brush up on some things like backgrounds, even if I do have a preference for character art. Even though you don't see the sketching process of these, I did go back and forth on composition on this piece. I originally wanted like a top-down view, as if the camera was looking into a hole on the ground with the cows leaning over it, but the grass kind of tripped me up because I couldn't figure out how to make it not look patchy, but also like where you could still see down into the ground, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to look like a hole that was just in the ground. I wanted it to look like there was no breaks in the grass, but that would have been impossible. So I ended up doing like a side view thing, and I'm still not 100% fine with it, but I think it's okay not to be 100% fine with art sometimes. It's done, and really that's what matters to me. Realistically, you wouldn't be able to see the box at all from the dirt anyway, so, you know, I guess it didn't matter too much what angle it was from, but this angle kind of makes me think about ant farms. It's fine. As for the character himself, Frond Peter is a sweetheart who deserved better. Like, okay, the gods that got sealed so far, Seish was the god of war and far away from any conflict. Refuge isn't aware enough to know where she is, and Philip at least is like dreaming and believes everything is fine. Poor Frond not only is aware of where he is and what's going on, he's right in the area that's like his specialty, his like most favorite domain in the farmlands. He helps humans grow things and raise livestock. And like he's there, like he's so close, but he's stuck and he can't actually do anything about it. And that's really sad to me. And he knows that he can't really control his influence from being so concentrated. So, like, he's aware that he's causing trouble for people up there, but he can't do anything about it. And he's just sad in his little box. At least the cows are having a good time. They're never gonna run out of food. I also can't remember if I've mentioned this in the other 3 of this series, but the reason the gods are sort of in an elemental mode when they get trapped on the mortal world is because their true god forms were split and stuck in the god realm, basically comatose. Anytime a god comes to the human world, they naturally assume their elemental form, Franz being a sort of wood, tree-like state. Their god forms look different, so I'll probably draw those at some point too, or maybe even show the process of me designing those, since I already have a lot of ideas. Doing concept art shouldn't really be too hard. I want to get this series done though, and then actually draw the main characters first, and then maybe I'll go back to that. Oh, this is probably a good time to say, this is the 4th in this series, and you should absolutely start with the others for more context. But basically these are characters I'm using for NaNoWriMo this year. It's my first time participating, so I'm really excited and kind of nervous. My profile will be in the description though, so if this sounds interesting to you at all, you can follow me on there and read it for free as I put out chapters in November. That's about all I have to say about this piece. There's still a few more in the series coming up, so if you want to see some more, you can subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of this.